What's up, my people? Gonna send this out right quick.
Yeah, give me 1 second to make sure everything's good before I come over there.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, audio sounded fine.
It is?
Yep. Come here.
What up?
So, welcome everybody. This is what we like to call What's in Your World. I am your host, Salim.
Barking?
Huh?
I don't know. It was creeping me out. I heard it was like...
Oh.
Now I kind of want to go check the audio, but whatever. We can keep going.
Well, hello. I'll probably get some messages if that's the issue.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. Good point. Okay, good point. What's up?
Yeah, so this is our show. My show, ChazzyTv.
I feel like it's more your show, and I'm just on it because this is my place more than anything.
You're right.
But that's okay. I'll take what I can get.
Oh, no. Aang is having some difficulties as well.
He wants to be over here in my lap.
Sounds about right.
All right, can I start off with my story?
I would love for you to start out with a story.
All right, so I really like Zac Efron as an actor. I think
You and I both.
I think he does phenomenal work. I think he's probably one of the better actors right now that doesn't get a whole lot of credit.
He did around High School Musical.
God, I think he's so much better now. I think he's
100%, 100%.
Anyways, long story short, he does this movie called That Awkward Moment where he's best friends with these two other guys. And he has this apartment or whatever, and one of the guys always comes over. I really like this movie, and I think they have the three of them feel like best friends.
Okay.
They do a really good job, in my opinion. And so, even in their bloopers afterwards, you can still feel like those guys just had a blast, together with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's a scene a couple of times where the friend will come over and be in the bathroom taking a shit.
Okay.
And they're always like, "You're always over at my house taking a shit. Why you always come to my house and take a shit?" You know? And he's like, "Why do you care what I do in the bathroom? Just let me do whatever I want in the bathroom." He's like, "You always just come." It's like you wait the whole day just so you could take a shit in my bathroom.
I know where this is
And
going.
so, yeah, I was laughing about this in my head, and I thought, I feel like Slim legit waits his whole day to be like, I need to go sit on that toilet where that heater is and take a nice heated shit. You know, which I don't blame you, dude. That heater stays on 24/7 just so when I do need to go, it's already warm in there. Which I know this sounds crazy to people, but when you have a man cave, enjoy it. Embrace.
You have to treat the man cave right.
Yeah, and
you got to treat it like it's you.
Thank you. Embrace the man cave.
'Cause
The man cave says the bathroom needs a heater and it needs to be running so that if the moment happens, I'm already there and warmed up. I don't want to be shivering with the heater trying to warm me up.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be like, ooh, that's nice. It's already warm and that feels good. You know,
and you've got the stool.
Yes. Yeah, because I need my computer, or I know people think this is gross and stuff. But
next thing you need is a bidet.
What the hell is a bidet?
You don't know.
I've
you don't know what a bidet is?
I've heard the word.
Okay, so
I don't know.
The common bidet you'd see now, we have in my house, is it's an attachment to the toilet, and basically you got this nozzle right here, and you can turn it on, and it's water. It sprays water.
Up your.
Well, yeah. It's way cleaner, bro.
So y'all have one of these.
Wiping is just drying.
Well, yeah, wiping is not sanitary, and to really it's very weird that we've been doing it this long, to a certain degree.
Well, but in Europe and Europe has bidets. I remember when I was playing in Portugal, we were in this hotel. I don't know what it was in Lisbon or outside of Lisbon, and it was you had the toilet, and then you had a toilet bowl shaped sink. And it was just a sprayer, and you could just re-angle it.
The first time you ever did this, I've actually never done this.
Dude, I've been doing this since I was a kid. Growing up in our house, we had
weird?
sprayers.
Does it not feel weird? It'd be disorienting. I feel like because I've never had.
Especially if the water's cold, you know.
Does it warm up the water for you?
I don't know. I'm sure they have those though.
So is yours cold?
Yeah, but I don't mind it at this point. It's I'm
used
freshening up.
Yeah. So strange.
Because I don't leave the bathroom feeling gross.
That's fair. No, I mean,
because I'll tell you what. There's this kid I coach. In my head now, he's pink eye, but he's he gets up in there like constantly, and like I'm thinking to
Can you
myself,
smell it?
this
on
guy.
him?
I don't think I've gotten close enough.
That's fair.
So glad for COVID because like I don't have to get close to
Gross.
this kid.
Gross.
But like I've had to ask him to go wash his hands multiple times because I'm just like, you're digging in there, bro. You're digging in there,
Kids can be gross, man.
and it's just like,
And now that you coach them, you're watching
Yeah.
all the little
Yeah.
gross things they do.
oh my god, I'll tell you another story. It was like beginning. It was like in the fall season. I have a team with 8-year-old boys, and this kid, he's like, we're like in the water break, and I guess he like either got his water quick or 8-year-olds. Some of them are
Yeah.
just like, I don't need water,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna like keep going. So he's just like in the middle of the field, just like running around, and he's spitting up in the air, and then trying to catch a spit in his mouth. So he's like, and he's just like running around trying to catch it in his mouth, and it like gets on his face a couple times. He's gotta wipe it off, and he's just like chasing his own spit in the air.
That is pretty gross.
And I told my sister
Pretty
that
gross.
story. She's a germaphobe. And she was like, "You have to shut up right now." I thought it was hilarious because that just really shows you what you see.
Yes.
You know,
I couldn't
coaching
even tell
kids, being
you-
around kids.
I couldn't even tell you the grossest thing I've ever seen off the top of my head because I feel like I have tried to block those
Yeah.
things out of my mind.
Yeah.
Because some things you truly can't. There are some things I have seen coaching that you cannot.
Yeah, you can't
unsee.
unsee. Mm-hmm.
But some of those things I have managed to block them out and like find a way that if someone could remind me and it would scar me again. But I know there were some things that I have just washed away.
Yeah, you
There's
have
nothing
to.
else you can do about it.
You have to.
Especially when you're dealing with kids. Every moment is an unexpectedly unknown moment. They will do everything seems normal for a long time.
Yeah.
Until actually I know the most awkward moment.
Okay.
All right. And
Okay.
this one's truly awkward.
Okay.
All right. I was coaching a bunch of kids that we call futures in college. They're like 7 years old, 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, 6, 7. They're like the first kids. That's what they're
Yep.
called, futures.
Yep.
To join the competitive kind of side of things, even though
Uh-huh.
I feel like. Anyways, long story short, I have like 15 little 6, 7-year-old girls standing in front of me, and I'm trying to tell them what to do. I suddenly realized one of these little girls were staring right at my crotch, and like intently, and it was really. And I was like ignoring it, whatever. I'm just gonna keep talking and giving the directions, and then I kind of started to realize their head height to my crotch area. So if they just look straight, that's kind of where they're looking already. And then it got really awkward because she like reached out and started reaching for it in like a drunken
like-
stupor. Like she was compelled in this moment. And like all the way until I was like, oh my God, she's actually going for this. And I had to slap her hand away for have another 10 girls start to join
No.
into this. And at that moment, I literally had to run away. I had no idea
Yeah.
what else to do.
There's
and
nothing you can do.
I
there.
just backed away and I was like, Scott, my boss at the time was like, you need to get over here to help me, dude. I can't have a mother looking over and seeing 10 girls reaching for my crotch. This is going to be insane. I don't know what you do in those moments. They're really weird, and it's like a really bad side effect of coaching as a male with girls. Like, I'm sure this happens with boys too. Like, I'm sure little boys are like even worse, but like girls are no better really in a way of being like perverted and stuff. I've heard some things that like, oh my God, you're like 10. This is scary.
I've had like an
This
8-year-old
is scary.
8-year-old girl wink at me,
I'm
and
telling
I was just like,
I had
uh,
one girl down in Florida my boss, I had to go tell my boss about an incident where she came on to me, 13 years old, and my boss had to no longer allow her in my sessions anymore. Dude, it was the weirdest thing ever. Like, she came and sat on my lap for a second. Like, I had to get up. I'm telling you, man, it's really, really weird sometimes to go down those roads. That was one of the negative side effects for sure of coaching soccer, for real. Like, some of those moments were like, this is so weird. I cannot take this. What is happening in my life? And there's nothing you can really do to prevent it. They're so sporadic. They just happen. Anyways, keep going. You're starting to remind me of some of these things, and I'm like, oh my God. I remember some of this now.
And now they're like
It's weird.
twice a week I'm coaching 4 or 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
But you're learning a lot about
oh
kids.
yeah, dude.
You learn a crap ton about kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot take away the amount of knowledge that you gain, and I think it's helped me with my own child. So
Yeah,
I think
no,
it'll
I-
help you too.
Yeah, like I was talking to somebody about it like last week or something, and they're like, so has coaching kids made you not want to have kids anymore? And like jokingly, I was like, yep. But no, in actuality, I feel like this is training me
bittersweet, yeah.
to be a better father, and like
It is.
that's all I'm. You know, if
You're-
I can learn how to be a good dad and get paid to do that, I'm not working. You know, I'm just practicing.
Yes.
You know,
I think
in a
half of
sense.
understanding about being a good father is just understanding a child as a child
Yeah.
and how children at each age generally are. I think that's like 90% of the battle. That a lot of parents freak out because they expect their kids to not be a child when they're a child.
Right.
And like, I don't know, I guess when you're coaching these kids, I get they get in the herd mentality, but I still feel like you get a lot of this. They're still just children in the end. And you have to just let things go sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can't expect them to be adults yet.
Yeah.
And you don't really want them to.
No.
Let them have that, you know? Like, you don't get it ever again.
No. You don't.
So, yeah, I think that's like half the battle. I think a lot of that comes from just coaching all these age groups.
Yeah.
And doing what you're
Yeah.
doing now. I mean, you're going into that whole process now where it's going to just show you a world of what kids are like.
Yeah. Because I mean, I can honestly say I've coached every age from 4 until 18,
Boy and girls.
boys and girls.
Yes. It's huge.
That
It's
is
huge.
crazy to me. A year ago, or no, 2 years ago, I would have never thought that.
These are
Never
life
thought
skills and knowledge that truly you cannot pay for.
Yeah.
Like you can only go through it.
Yeah.
And I will always carry some of that. You know,
Mhm.
like it's
Mhm.
just funny to me. Like I have to do public speaking to a certain. I have to like do a demo in front of my whole company,
Mhm.
and everyone was kind of like, "Are you sure you even want to?" I was like, "I guess when you coach." And you've got to talk in front of 100 people or 200 people at a camp or some crap with all these parents,
Uh-huh.
and you're having to have these like really intimate conversations
Uh-huh.
versus like super large ones,
Yep.
and like it's just such a spectrum, and
Yeah.
heated ones, and like really fun-loving ones, and like
The heated ones.
oh, dude, all over.
Yep.
A whole groups of
Yep.
masses ganging up on you
Mhm.
to one person pissed. It can
Mhm.
go any which way, and I feel like when you've done that for long enough,
Yeah.
doing it in front of anybody at this point really isn't that big of a deal.
Mhm.
It's all the same to me at this
Yep.
point. And I think that's another life skill that coaching really, really does give you that it's very rare nowadays.
Especially like us having done coaching so early in
Yeah.
life. You know, because
Yes, I totally agree with you. You're very young, man.
like yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm still young.
I had my
you know?
first parent meeting for my players when I was 18,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
and like I was terrified going into that. It was like at tryouts, and I had to like introduce myself to like, you know, like 25 parents
Yeah.
who like are depending on me to take
Ranging
care of
from,
their
like,
children.
35 to like 60.
60,
You know?
yeah.
Like
Yeah, and they're
all in
staring at
between.
you,
Yeah,
and they're gonna
yeah.
like. There's a very likely chance that if you do something they're not happy with, you're gonna get called out for it, and you're gonna hear it from other people, and then it's just like it'll add a bunch of other kind of stuff to it.
This always makes me think, what am I going to be like when I'm on the other end?
Yeah,
Because I hope to be there. I may not, because my daughter may, or my children may not want to go down that road. But
sure.
in the pretend that she does, then I will be on the other end. And it'll be funny to watch that 18-year-old come in and do this with me at some point in time. You know, and when I see things, if she plays soccer, this will be a true challenge, because then I'll see things in the game that I'm like, what
Yeah.
is this coach
Yeah.
doing right now?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
be a problem.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
especially if she's playing competitive. And if she's playing rec and it's just fun, I'll be able to just watch it for fun. I won't give a shit. But if she's playing at that ECNL top tier level,
Yeah.
I'm gonna struggle some days. And I've even told my wife, like, you may need to keep an eye on me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may be fine, but I don't know at that level, and I know too much.
Yeah.
I've experienced too much in the game now.
Mhm. I think that's why my dad never came to my soccer games.
I
when
don't
grew
blame
up.
him.
When I
now.
grew up, he did not come to anything.
It's
He came to like, I think it was my freshman year high school jamboree, and he left after like 5 minutes. He was like, I cannot watch this.
Yeah.
I can't. And it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm sure he would have loved, you know, to
I don't-
continue watching me, but
I'm
it was like the
starting to-
fact that like he knew what that coach was doing right there, and he just saw right through it.
You can see right past. I know I'll be able to. And when they try to give me some hogwash bull crap about something that I'm asking about, I'm gonna be like, dude, are we doing this? Are we really doing this right now? Like, this is comical that we're going down this road. You're still playing the same games all these years later.
Yeah.
Like, let's not do this right now. That's why I hope, to some degree, maybe she plays a different sport, and then I'll be like, I don't really know enough. So I don't care.
Yep.
know.
And then you can be there for
I can just
fun,
be fun.
enjoy.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But in soccer, I can't.
You know,
help
at
but see
times
it.
I do think like I would rather my kid get into another sport.
I'm telling you, man.
Dude, if they want to play like anything other than, I don't think I would want my kids to play football.
Yeah, I don't blame you on this one. And having a daughter, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But
Because like
I don't.
knowing my issues with concussions,
it's a real serious
and like
issue.
that's like,
I love the game of football.
and I watched that movie Concussion.
I talked to my brother, who's a neurosurgeon.
If you have had concussions in your life, don't watch that movie. Just don't. I don't think it did not do good things.
I always
for
think
me.
like, man, how much smarter I could have been. I'm not that smart,
Yeah.
but like I could have been smart. You know, maybe I could have been.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, I was 4
100%.
concussions deep by freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
And I had like a 1.5 GPA my freshman year. I failed like 3 classes.
God, you sound like me too. Yeah, it was not good.
I was in summer school.
Yeah, I was too.
And then the next year I got a concussion in like April, couldn't take finals, had to be in school to retake my whole spring quarter or whatever
Yeah.
during the summer, and didn't finish sophomore year till like a week before junior year.
Yeah. I know those days, man.
But like,
Look, but hold on here. I also have we're getting deep into this conversation
Sure.
now. But I also have a problem with educational systems as a whole. Because I don't know, I look back on my time, and I spent a lot of the same things as you. My senior year, I had to take an extra class, and I also had to drop out of driver's ed and take another class that I had failed the year before to make sure that I could graduate. And I didn't even know if I was going to graduate until I finished my final exam of my final class and got the score back to make sure that I had gotten a grade good enough that I didn't fail the class. But I look back and I think, I don't, and especially really what made me think about all this deep down, my like internal thinking on this whole thing, looking back, was internal. I
Continue.
I couldn't think of the
sorry,
word I
couldn't-
wanted to use.
I
there.
couldn't
was
help
like-
myself.
and I don't blame you, dude. Mallory makes fun of me all the time because I just make up words. I just make up words, or I just merge words into like together, and it's
I
like
do that too.
Anyways, and I just don't care. I feel like I just don't care.
Yeah.
Anyways, I looked back after I learned how to program, and I thought I went through my own regiment and was able to do this just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I look back on the way they did things, and it was so different. I could never have stayed engaged. I don't care what you did back then. I was never going to be a student of the public educational system.
Me neither.
And you were this is why we get along, because we're very much the same on this.
Yeah.
And I don't, there's some classes I did very well in that I really cared about over the years. And we're talking about a 12-year span, you know?
Sure.
There's some things I really liked and I really did well at, but 90% of the stuff I didn't give a shit about.
And usually it was because of a teacher.
And those teachers sucked. They were all like just stand there and talk to you or show you a video or some crap. And then you have the standardized test, which I just think are the most bogus bull crap ways. And then you have this like idea of like your SAT scores and your grades determine how intelligent you are, which is just, that's probably the single dumbest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Once I started to understand that concept of like we're judging people on the grades they make in school based on standardized testing.
And that's it. And that's
it. That's
just how they can.
I get that we need a bar. I get that.
Sure.
We need some way to judge people.
But I feel like at the same time it has to be a spectrum.
Oh my God. The problem is that we have so many people now, and we're such a diverse country that there's no way you could ever think that one size is going to fit all. We are both the type that we need to be engaged.
100%.
I need to be doing it.
Yep.
And I need to be entertained while it's
Yes.
happening. I know that seems weird to you guys, but like,
If I'm bored, I'm not going to learn
it's not going to happen. I need to be.
I'm not gonna learn
If I'm
anything.
interested in the subject, okay. Like
Yeah.
I can sit down and just watch programming videos because
Sure.
I love programming,
Sure.
and it
Sure.
just fascinates me. This
Yeah.
whole thing, and the deeper I get, etc. But like, if you go over something like, I don't know, man, like medicine, because it goes
Math.
back. My brother's a doctor and my dad's a
Uh-huh.
doctor, but I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, I only want to know the basics, but I couldn't watch a video on it. So you would really have to put me in a hospital and engage me and be like, here's what we're going to do.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool now. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I like doing things. You know? Like,
Yep.
even Ben Franklin said it. You know, he's like, I'm not going to learn very much if you tell it to me, but if you give me engaged and let me do it,
Yep.
then I'll learn it for life.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we never got that.
No.
And we're having to give it to ourselves now.
Yes.
Afterwards, you will learn
That's
more.
why I'm such a workaholic,
Yeah.
man.
And good, because your 20s should be that. Your 20s now are to learn essentially learn how you were screwed in life by our system and how it failed you. We shouldn't trust it. You should trust yourself, and you should do it all for yourself. And at this point in my life, I think you spend your 20s on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You spend it how you know you need to get to where you're trying to get in the future. You don't think about tomorrow. You don't even think about next year. You don't even think about 5 years. You think about 10 to 20 at this point. So how can I get there? Well, what do I need to do for the next 5 to 10 years to get me to those points where I maybe will get there one day?
Mm-hmm.
So what steps do I need to take foundationally during my 20s to work on myself? And then the rest of it can take care of itself. Because you got screwed. You weren't even taught about how taxes work.
Nope.
You were taught nothing.
No.
You walk into this world where you're like, all right, go. And then you're like, whoa, what the is this? I don't even know what I'm doing at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It pisses me off because kids, look, my brother, who's a doctor, flew through this system with flying colors.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It was incredible to watch him.
Some people are built for it.
He made that system look stupid. Meanwhile, that system made me look stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And, like, don't get me wrong. I think he is far more intelligent than I am. But,
Sure.
like, am I stupid?
No.
Like, they try to make you feel? Get out of here.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. And you then are making all these kids every year feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
And some kids don't come out of it.
No.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
I looked at it and said, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't really care
yeah,
what you think about me.
Yeah, yeah.
How about that? You know?
Yep.
But a lot of kids are like, I'm dumb. I can't do anything. And I better just go do this lame job over here and not get paid very much. And I'm minimum wage because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hate that. Sorry. I'm going on a rant again.
No.
Like I always do. But
It's what we do.
I just feel like I don't think it was as much. Don't get me wrong. I don't think your concussions helped. And I think that I will probably, I had like 4 or 5 concussions throughout my whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got my last one when I was like 23 and I busted my lip open in that game and everything. In a men's league game, like people going insane.
Yeah.
That was the last time I ever really played competitive goalkeeping at that point. That was like
Mhm.
my 4th or 5th one. And I think more so it'll be long term. It'll be when we're older, we're gonna be the ones that get screwed long term,
Yeah.
unless there's something that they have developed at the
Well,
time.
I mean, I take lion's mane, and I tell you what,
and
that
this might stuff
I mean,
might help.
it's
the long term.
really does.
It's almost like brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Take it every day, you'll feel long term effects. Take it once, brushing your teeth doesn't do shit for you one time. Gotta do it every day. I just think that my last point to this was I don't know if that was so much of a big deal in high school when you're young and malleable. I think the effects will come later when you're in life.
Mhm.
I think the rest of it was the system made you feel stupid and designed it so that you personally, in the way you grew up and who you are as a person, were never going to succeed in that
Mhm.
system. You know, that
Yeah.
shit pisses me off every time I
Yeah.
think about it.
I'll tell you a story. So, I'll go back then, I guess. So it's like April of my senior year, and I haven't committed anywhere because I turned down like one of my first offers.
What Well, no offense, but when you don't have a good GPA, it's really hard to go play
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't want to play D1 because
Yeah.
I don't like the
Yeah.
style of the
We could probably in it-
any of the D1 schools. I didn't like their styles. I'd
Yeah.
watch, not even knowing I couldn't go there anyways.
Yeah.
But it was just like, and then so it was this one D2 school. They weren't gonna offer me money my freshman year because they don't give money to freshmen, and it was like you had to earn it by your sophomore year, and it was like, okay, that's cool, but like majority of your players are getting full rides because they're foreign, and it doesn't have anything to do with my freshman year. Like, anyways, so I turned down that offer.
Yeah.
And then the club I was playing at the time decided they weren't going to help me with recruiting anymore. So it was basically on me, which if I had been more prepared, it would have been fine, but like I wasn't that prepared. Anyways, so I get a call in April from Joel, and he's like,
"Hey, Jolly Oxenfree."
I'm like sitting in the living room with my mom, and like we like look at my phone, it's Joel, and it's like, and so I like pick up the phone, and he's like, have you committed anywhere yet? Like, yada yada yada. I was like, no. He's like, how about this? Like, you wanna come play on the semi-pro team in the summers, and then play at the college that I'm coaching at during the year and go there? It's like, sounds good.
If I were your age, I would have done that.
And it was like,
I would have totally.
It was like, how did this happen?
That would have been way better than.
Because like I had played, like Joel was my state team coach the summer before, where one of the years I made the region team. And so he had seen me play like recently, I guess.
Yeah.
And so anyways, yeah, so the Duluth season started in like late April. So like I couldn't go yet. I had to graduate high school first.
Yeah.
So I graduated, went to like the beach for like 2 days, and then came home and then drove straight to Minnesota. And like I drove with like my family, with like my siblings, and like 2 days later it was me by myself in this place in this.
Was that the first time you'd ever been like off on your own?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's weird, right?
And it was like feeling. I was really fortunate.
And you're like not
with the situation. No, dude. I'm 18 hours. I'm 18 hours away.
Yeah, see, I was like 10 hours, and that's half.
Yeah.
That's like
and
half what you were. Yeah.
And so luckily, like, I had like been in downtown that day. I met like this guy who owned an antique store, who like I ended up being really close with him and his wife, and I ended up living with later on.
That's right. You worked at that store.
Yeah,
right?
I worked at
like an antique place.
I worked at an antique store.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, the house that I was living with, it was like the club would set you up with a
you're so like
a host family.
Me out sometimes.
They would set you up with a host family. So the person that I lived with in that house was a political organizer, set me up with my first political job. So like within 2.5 weeks, I had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And it was just like immediately I was like, okay, this is what I have to do, because like I wasn't getting paid to play.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I had been, I would have been ineligible to play college, because NCAA is ridiculous. But
not a joke. That's the dumbest organization.
So stupid.
It's so dumb. That's another rant,
like,
though.
Basketball players can't even fill up March Madness things for like fun. Like if they find out, like, they're in big trouble. Like, it's a big deal. Anyways, that's a whole nother.
They make those assholes enough money. They should be able to gamble on it if they want.
Right?
They should be able to do whatever
Nick
they want.
Saban is like the highest paid coach ever, and like no Alabama football player can get anything.
I go back and forth on that one, but I just something needs to be done for the players.
Yeah, I agree.
All of them across the board.
I agree. But like that's what we were talking about. I had to figure out life like this.
Yeah, man.
Because it was like going into it, I like had this like kind of feeling that like I wasn't gonna be making any money, and I was living in a new city, and I had to like figure that out.
But when you experience it,
but then I just did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like making money every week. Well,
it's because you're not a dumb guy. You get it.
Well, but like
in the moments you see it, and you're gonna go and you're gonna react and you're gonna pull it off, and it's just gonna happen for you. The thing about you that's such a key part about this is that, again, you're so much like Chase to me. is you have such a social ability that you'll walk in, anybody's going to like you instantly. The whole room, I've watched you do it. I know someone's incredibly good at social abilities when I walk away from a gathering and I have multiple people come up to me and tell me how much they liked a specific person over again. You've done it 2 or 3 times to me now. Where they're like, who is that young man I talked to? I'm like, Slim. Slim. I like that one. And I'm like,
Wait, when?
this happened when you were the hit of our wedding shower.
Oh,
By
dude,
far,
that's so awesome.
you were the hit. I still hear people be like, I remember talking to that one kid. I'm like, mother effer. That kid just showed up and just took over the whole party. And I know you've done it one other time. I just can't remember the time that it happened. But ultimately, you're going to walk in. You're going to be able to make that happen. I feel like that's just going to happen for you. So it kind of cracks me up that, like, Chase does this crap, too.
Mm-hmm.
Chase can just, like, go live somewhere with someone for infinite amount of time, and the people are like, yeah, it's Chase. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean it's just Chase? You know? Like, how did you know? For real, we stayed with a person out in Oregon one time, and they had just met at, like, a coaching course one time.
Wow.
He let us come out from Oregon. We're talking like 3 or 4 days they knew each other.
No kidding.
And his wife's in there and everything. And didn't know me, just met Chase for 3 days. And was like, sure, both y'all can come stay here. So we stayed there one night.
That's really cool.
I feel like that's you, though. That
Yeah,
people are just like, yeah, it's just Slim. You have that aura. I don't even have that. I don't know how y'all pull that crap off. Like, I don't even know what you do exactly.
Bro, I don't either. I don't either.
It comes natural. A lot of the social abilities come natural. Anyways, long story short, it cracks me up that you would be able to pull that off because it's so like your personality type. Chase does that too. Chase just walks in and is like, "Oh, this person gave me a job, and now they're letting me stay at their home." And
that's what happened. Like,
yeah,
a couple months later, like not like a month and a half later, one of my coworkers from the political campaign like needed a place to stay in Duluth. He was living in some other city in Minnesota that was like 2 hours away. So he needed a place to stay, and I was like, look, I got literally 2 places I can live at right now. Because I had talked to the antique store people, because I had stayed down at their place a couple times. And I like talked to them. I was like, look, can I like move in with you guys? And they were like, are you kidding? There's a basement for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's your basement now. And I was like, that's tight. And so like I told the guy I was living with at the time, I was like, yeah, like, do you want like like he can live down like he can live here. He's like, okay, cool. And so he moved there, and then I moved there.
people just instantly trust you.
And then like, yeah, I mean, like I had a house.
You have like this aura of innocence with you. You know, like people are just like, it's just Slim. What's gonna happen? He's not a serial killer. It's just Slim. Shut up. Let him in there. Like no one cares. You know, this shit makes me laugh, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say like people like you will be fine in the end. You'll find some way. I don't give a shit if you fail out of high school or not. It's irrelevant. That doesn't.
I didn't
anything.
fail out of high school.
No, I'm just saying. In the end, that's all meaningless.
100%.
You can learn the real world by true experience, and you're gonna make it just fine because you're gonna be able to. Life's a game.
Mm-hmm.
Learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
And play the game.
Play the game.
It's pretty simple. I know soccer has taught me this.
Yeah.
Life is just a soccer game with rules.
But
and learn to play it.
You have to remember that you can always play the game the way you want to play the game.
I've always been a big component of you must learn and master the rules.
Yeah, sure.
Before you can learn to break the rules.
Sure.
But absolutely, and goalkeeping, I always told goalkeepers, you're cheating right now. And until you've mastered not cheating, you can't cheat. Cheating is like, I'm going to shift over a little too far on my positioning because I'm going to bait them into a side. I'm going to give more goal here when I shouldn't, or something like that. You're cheating.
Yeah.
You're clearly cheating. You should not be, as a goalkeeper in our goalkeeper world, you're out of position at this point.
Right.
But you know what you're doing.
Right.
You're breaking rules because you're in a different game now.
Right.
And I feel like that's a lot of what it is, you know? Like, learn the rules of life.
Yeah.
Spend your 20s learning them.
Yeah.
Tinker the rules in your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. But until then, learn to master. That's what I feel like I'm going through this in my own job right now. First time I've ever had a development job like this. It's one of those things in a corporate world. There are just times where it's like, I need to step back and just make sure that I really understand the rules that I'm playing right now. because if you don't, it can cost you. And you've got to really make sure you master those rules, because when you're deciding to make those decisions to walk away from those rules for a moment, it can. Hey, there's a goal. And if this is the World Cup you're playing, that's a pretty costly goal you just let up because you decided to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you master those rules.
Yeah.
And that's why people like Messi are so talented, because he knows the rules better than you do. And he knows when to break them and when not to break them. He knows when you think he's going to break the rules and doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, he's a cheeky son of a gun. His
Yep.
little game with goalkeepers, it's a phenomenal game. I would love to have gone against him and, like, been at that level. Because, like, if even at my best that I ever was, still not that. I'm not nowhere near that.
But there is a fair amount of goalkeepers that have done the other thing to him.
For sure.
Like Petr Cech. Do you remember
For
Petr?
sure.
I don't think Messi ever scored a goal against Petr. Maybe he has, but like he never won a game against Petr Cech.
See, and if you're at that level and you're that good as a goalkeeper, you can study a player well enough to find and see. Look, if you can train yourself as this to me was the holy grail of goalkeeping. If you can train yourself to slow the game down and watch the body movement of a shooter, you can go anywhere you need to go for the shot. Because the body doesn't lie. The problem is it happens so fast you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But I realized I was starting, the longer I was playing it, the more I could watch how someone was going to shoot the ball. It was starting to slowly, and I feel like no wonder at 40 years old you can be that talented, because you spent another 20 years on me watching this game. So maybe you can slow it down now enough that you can watch how they're going to shoot it.
Yeah.
You know? And so goalkeepers like that at that level, the Neuers, the Czechs of the world, these guys are playing a different game.
Yeah.
The Messis, for sure.
Yeah.
You know? Like, no, you're totally right, though. 100% agree. Like, he got played better by some goalkeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, goalkeepers are cheeky guys, man.
Yeah. Manuel Neuer's probably my all-time favorite. Just because
he changed the game.
How ballsy. Yeah, he really has.
He changed the game.
Goalkeepers will never be the same after him.
He changed what it meant to be a goalkeeper.
Because he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. He pretty much said, I'm not a goalkeeper. I'm the 11th man.
Yeah, I'm not only one of the best field players here, but I also have the superpower of I can use my hands.
Yes.
And you can't.
I'm going to come out of my box, and I'm going to stop. I always called it proactive goalkeeping versus reactive goalkeeping. He stops things before they even get created. Here's the through ball for the breakaway. He just killed the through ball.
Yeah.
Here's the ball over the top. Well, this dude just flew in and headed it out of the bounds.
Right.
This guy just tried to clear it. Well, he just cleared it right back into your throat. You know? Someone just played a ball over the top. He just ran it down and then just took it, beat a guy, and then goes and kicks it somewhere. Right. You know? Like, totally changed how suddenly you have like two sweepers almost.
Yeah.
That, and goalkeepers are the last line of defense and the first line of offense. So when they get that ball, you'll watch him run past on a corner kick. Everybody's in the box. It's the moment for a goalkeeper to take advantage of with your smart forwards. Yep. And he can throw a ball like 70 yards on a dime. So he'll just run past the entire team on a one that he'll just go out, catch the ball in the air, run past everybody at the top of the box, and just hurl it 70 yards, freaking breakaway. It's insane. It happens so fast. There's nothing you can do about it. And he's a goalkeeper. Yeah. You no longer can just sit in your box and be a shot stopper like Buffon. That's the old style. The Oliver Kahns of the world, that's the old game.
Gone.
That's the old game. You now need to leave your box and be comfortable. If you can't use your feet as well as any player on the field, you can't play at that next level. Yep. You just can't do it anymore. Yep. You have to be the most athletic player on the field. You need to be able to do anything a forward or a midfielder or a goal or a defender can do. But use your hands and dive. And catch balls.
That's what's interesting to me is now that I'm in futsal as well, because futsal is a whole different game. You cannot compare the two. You really can't. The only similarities is that you use your feet and it's a ball. The ball is weighted differently. It's smaller.
Some of the touches are the same style. But I totally agree.
First touch, never the same. First touch is always with the bottom of your foot. If you watch any pro futsal game, they never take their first touch with the inside or the outside of the foot.
I always take mine with the outside. I like to give it. I give in.
Interesting.
I need to play
I
more though. I always take it and give in my foot to soften the flow.
You cannot do that in futsal.
And see, maybe I'm
because
I haven't played futsal in a long time.
Futsal is 6 times faster than football.
That's why I don't like doing it with the bottom of my foot though.
Right.
I like to take
you have
it
time.
in and then it
because
puts
you have
it
time.
right out in front of me for the foot to then go
because
into.
you have time. And in soccer, you have time for that.
But if you grab it with the bottom of your foot, I feel like you're taking more time.
But you're not losing the ball. Because that ball's weighted. It's gone.
I see what
if
you're
you use
saying.
the inside or outside,
You pretty
it's
much
gone.
need it under
Trust me, I see it every day with these kids.
Well, because you're pretty much saying, and I'm coming from a pretty naive standpoint, so keep that in mind. Because I don't play this shit anymore.
Sure.
When you get the ball, you want it right under you, so because you are pretty much saying the moment you get it, someone's already on you.
Well,
So
yeah.
now
So
you need
it's
to be
I'm
able
talking
to
like
defend the ball for a second before you can get it back out.
I'm talking about like a directional touch with the bottom of your foot. Like you don't just like stop it dead. It's like you get and like you roll it away.
All right, a trap touch.
Yeah, that's not. It's not that. I wouldn't say it's that.
So you don't ever. I see.
It's literally like you.
If you're gonna
the ball's
play a
coming in, you
one-time
roll it that
touch.
way, or you roll it that way.
If you're playing one time. What if you're playing 2 touch?
That's the same thing. You just
still
roll it away.
just
That's your
take it.
first touch, and then you play it. And that's your second touch.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So
I see what you're saying. Okay.
But back to what I was gonna say is the goalkeepers in futsal. First thing, they don't wear gloves, and they are like that. They are players.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was talking to Tristan because they were up in regionals this weekend.
Why don't they wear gloves?
I don't know.
I would wear gloves. I feel like I can do anything I can on the field, but wear gloves too and feel comfortable.
They wear elbow pads and knee pads. But they don't wear
that ball's
gloves.
coming so hard. I
don't
want
wear-
to have that
I don't know.
comfortable
I don't know
feel
why.
to grab.
I really don't know why.
Interesting. All right, keep going.
Yeah, but like if you watch the futsal World Cup, the goalkeepers don't wear gloves.
Well, I mean, I guess there's reasonings for this. I just don't know it.
Sure.
So, fair enough.
I mean, because the ball is different. I guess it's like easier to grip, honestly.
Maybe the gloves could be different, and they're just not because no one cares yet, you know? But,
Maybe.
like, you don't need these big, hefty gloves. You need more kind of, like, hand-forming gloves.
Yeah, maybe.
I would love to have gloves. Anyways.
Like, it's the same in futsal where the goalkeeper has to be the most athletic.
Yes.
Because they have to be able to use their hands and be honestly faster with their feet. Because if they lose the ball, it's a goal.
It's a goal.
Instantly.
Yes.
Because, like, in futsal, there's, I think, a shot on goal every 40 seconds.
Yeah. That's insane.
Like, when they were in regionals this weekend, there was not a single game that was, like, off by 1. Or, like, 2. There wasn't a single, like, 2-1 match.
As a goalkeeper, because that seems like more fun to
Dude,
me.
futsal, honestly,
bored
I
back
enjoy
there.
it more than I love soccer.
Yeah.
And, like, that's weird to say because that was all I dedicated my life to
That's why Brazilians
until
love
I
it
was
so much.
18.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, now that I play it 3 days a week, it is my favorite thing.
Soccer is a formal version.
Yeah, it's
on a
honestly
national-
though, it's
on a global stage.
it's getting outdated.
Soccer.
If you think about soccer, yeah, dude, VAR is not the way. Like all this technology that they're trying to use in the game, it's not making anybody happy, and I don't think it's doing anything good
I
to
don't
the
think
game.
you'll ever lose the traditional sense of the game.
Sure, no,
I think
that's
we
not
may
what
go
I'm
through
saying.
phases through technology and stuff, and
Yeah.
some things will come and go.
Yeah,
But I see.
Dude.
I do agree with what you're saying. For the
check
most part.
out this rule because, like, you remember the old Arsenal coach Arsene Wenger?
I know the name, but I don't really know.
Anyways,
I can't put a
he's
picture
like on the board of FIFA now, and like they're like coming up with new rules and stuff. And there's a new rule that they're trying to
Why
implement.
do they need new rules?
Just wait, trying to implement it where if it's like aligned with the 18 and on, and it goes out for a throw in for the team that's attacking that goal, it's like a corner kick now. And they put it on the ground and kick it.
No.
What?
Why? Like, why would you do
I
this?
don't know,
Why
man.
would you
That's
do that?
crazy.
There's no reason to
That
do
changes the game.
this. You know,
And like
what's-
also the new offsides rule. And like if you watch, dude, oh my, I need to show you one of these games. They will call a VAR, like a VAR will call an offsides from off of like a fingertip. If like the guy is like,
it's
and there's
so.
a fingertip,
Yeah.
he's onside or like he's offside. If his like fingertip is like
See, and look,
past the line,
I don't know, man. I go back and forth.
that's just and then also like you're spending 2 minutes in the middle of the game and these players are just like standing there. like it's
Oh, no,
it's
no,
football
no.
in America. They're just standing there looking at the screen, waiting for the ref to make the decision.
One thing I've always known and loved about the traditional game of soccer is once that whistle blows, that's
doesn't
fucking
stop.
it,
It
dude.
doesn't
You
stop.
don't stop. You don't stop the clock. The only thing that stops the game is the ball goes out of bounds, you get it back in, and you usually want to play quick, or there's an injury.
Yep.
And even then, you don't stop the clock.
No.
You just add
Add
stoppage
time.
time. So, like,
Which, I mean, they're doing, which is making stoppage time
you-
longer.
You do not stop the game for freaking reviews.
Yeah.
You do those things on the fly. It better happen within 30 seconds.
And I mean,
then
they
that's it.
have earpieces.
no.
Like, why aren't the people up there just, like, calling it quicker?
No.
Oh, and then the offsides thing. Check this out. If a play happens and the player's offsides, like in the Premier League, this is the thing. AR doesn't raise his flag. They play on. And, like, if a goal is scored, then they go back
Why?
and the referee will.
Why? What's the point in
Because
playing on?
they don't want to stop the game. But it's like you're stopping the game to, like, do the VAR anyways.
Look,
But, like, literally, I watched a brilliant goal happen, and then 2 minutes later,
I would
the
rather,
referee throws his flag up.
I
It's-
would rather
what?
have a new symbol. Like, the referee has the play on symbol, you know, like they,
Mhm.
they do
Yeah,
motions. And I would rather have a new motion for the referee to signal after a play happens that pretty much states
yeah.
for the next 30 seconds, that play is now under review.
Mhm.
You can play on, but I may go back and call it.
Yeah.
But if I don't, everything's going to continue on. So you do a play on call, and essentially that's saying we're under review, but continue playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that would continue the game forward, give people a little bit of time, and we just understand you cannot stop the game.
Yeah.
Injuries make sense, and the ball has to go out of bounds at some point. Those make sense. You can't really stop those.
Mm-hmm.
But just stopping it for you don't even get timeouts. It's like the only sport in the world that you can't have a timeout. Like
You get timeouts in futsal. 1.5 per team.
Even soccer, and I'm going to be honest with you, I actually grown to love it, and there's a reason why. Soccer makes the team be a team.
Way
That's why
more
they
than
call
any
him
other
a
sport.
manager instead of a coach,
Yep.
because at that level, you truly don't have anything to do with the coach while you're out there.
Yep.
The
I mean, he
team-
can like talk on the touchline, but
I
like
get
that's
they're trying to manage, but like really, the team has to work together.
100%.
You're going to do this,
100%.
then y'all have to be on the same page.
100%.
It's not a football game where you have A to B to go to, and you know exactly what you're going to do. There is 45 minutes of straight play where there is nothing but just freedom on the field. It can be chaos if you wanted it to, and somehow everybody knows and shifts and plays, and there's like a shape to everything, and it's just, and you don't allow it to stop to be dictated by anybody else but the player.
Right.
You must be a creative, talented player who can be alone and on your own, but also work with other people in a unit at the same time without having any direction by anybody else but your own self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
This game is like no other when I was growing up, and that's why I loved it so much.
Yeah.
It just, I hate that you're telling me this crap
Yeah.
because look, there are certain rules through time where I thought that's a smart rule. That rule in the I think it was 1990 or something like that, where you no longer could pass the ball back to your goalkeeper and they pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually like that. I think that's
Yeah.
a cheat rule. Like for you to be able to just pass me the ball back and I pick it up.
Yeah. No, I don't like that.
That
at all.
really doesn't help the flow of the game.
No,
you
by
know?
no means. By no means.
And I'm a goalkeeper. Sure, I'd love that.
Yeah.
It'd make my life
It
so
would be
much
nice,
easier.
but
No, that's just cheating to me. Anyways, I hate the rules they're going to be put. There's no need to change any of this stuff. The game has existed for a long time on a global scale for a reason. It's not football where it's just 100 years old or whatever. Like people
Yeah.
want to laugh. They all like, oh, football is so old, blah, blah, we do this. Dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this is a laughable joke, you
Yeah.
know? Like, soccer's been going on in a traditional sense for
There's-
a long time.
oh my goodness, that makes me think of there's this show. I can't remember the name, but it's on Netflix. And
The
it's
English
about
game?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't. I watched it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah,
that
it's
show.
actually really good. It talks about the
So
beginning of
good.
professional soccer
Yep.
in England.
Yep.
Yeah.
That show
Yeah.
was great.
It's actually really good. I'll get it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
A little cheesy at times, but it was good.
Sure.
But
sure.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
But I mean, for like, it being the first of its kind.
Hey, I watched every episode
100%.
instantly.
Like
yeah, I was in.
Watched it.
Yeah, and it's a true story.
Yeah.
It's actually based off a true story. This is actually a real person or whatever. The main guy who was, I forgot his name.
Far.
I couldn't tell you. I just know that
Scottish dude.
Yeah.
Ferguson.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The English game that really is. It's a cool little look back and homage to the beginning of the professional world.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, it was just kind of this, like people who had some money in the town kind of sponsored a team and went out around and played, and then they usually would probably make bets on the game for their team or something, and that's usually what was going on in the professional world. Like that's how you got paid playing soccer, is that someone was just sponsoring a team and paid you to come play.
But what that show made me see was the fact that the FA Cup is the reason why there is like there is a promotion. Like that is a thing in the soccer world. Because if you think without a promotion, there is no incentive
and a
for
demotion.
Teams and demotion
you
as
can
well.
be demoted too.
And demotion as well.
I think that's one of the smartest things that any club or league has
Any
ever
league,
put in.
Yeah.
Ever.
And it's too bad the America doesn't do that
Man,
in any of its sports.
If we set that up,
In any of its sports.
it just drives such you can't be last, or you lose funding. People are going to bail from your team. Like, this is not good if you were to
Managers get
owners.
Like, have you heard the Sunderland story? There's a show about Sunderland.
I feel like I've heard this story.
About the dude. I don't want to like ruin it for you, but like honestly, you think it's going to get better. You keep thinking it's going to get better for them, for the club.
Yeah.
And it's just like, "Oh my god, it gets worse. Oh my god, it gets they got demoted again. Oh, they got demoted again."
Didn't they get demoted? Didn't like a bunch of them die or something? Is that what am I thinking about another team?
No,
Okay,
none of them die. They
So
just
they
like
just
all of their good players just get sold instantly.
They were just liquidating that team.
And then like the team gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
This is the way football should be. This is the way all our sports in America should be.
Yeah.
Like you can't be the crappiest team in the league.
I think there's just too much money in it now in America that there's no way. There's no way USL teams like Birmingham Legion. Shout out one time.
Huh?
Well, there's no way they will get promoted unless they buy a franchise that is MLS. Because if you think about MLS, every MLS team has to wear Adidas. They would Birmingham Legion would no longer be Nike. Like you have to buy the MLS.
So really, what comes down to it in our country is how big is your audience, so that do we want to invest in your audience?
Or is somebody famous that has enough money willing to come in and just...
Yeah. It'll never happen for us.
I don't think
yeah,
so.
It's really sad because
I would love to see the Legion become an MLS.
Because all they would have to do in England is just win.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. Just win.
Just win. Just be a good team. Get to the top of your group or get to your top of your league.
What a great idea.
And some of the times you don't even have to win the league.
What a great
idea. You can be
idea.
second. You can be third. And you still get promoted.
It's the best part of soccer.
So brilliant.
Like you just win.
Like Leicester City.
Yes.
They're fighting. They were number one in the league this morning, and then Man City won, and now they're in first. But Leicester City came from like nothing.
They were promoted not long ago.
They got promoted, and then 2 years later they won the league.
Yeah.
And now
with
they're like
a bunch of
consistent.
players that were like not brought in yet, so they were still playing with like.
And now half of those players are worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Isn't it nuts, man? The world and economics of soccer over there, man, it's just like truly. I already know this because I've talked to people I played with over here that went over there. Pretty much is like you're guaranteed to get on a team to pay you. It's just how much. Some of these teams may only pay you like $300 a month, but some will pay you a couple of thousand a month. And they're all different levels, and then you just work your way up, kind of a thing. And it's like totally not how it works over here.
No.
Do you make good grades?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you're never going anywhere.
And then it's
why does grades have anything to do with any of this?
Well, but then it's like majority of them. So like, let's say you move on, you play D1, okay, but you're not getting unless you're like Daryl DK, who I used to play with, who I think it was his freshman or sophomore year, he played at Virginia. He did so well. Orlando FC just signed him at like 19. So now he plays at Orlando FC. Like he's gonna work his way up. Like
Who's the dude that was supposed to play on our national team but we suck and plays over in Europe?
Chris Richards? Wait, who?
No. He's supposed to be like the prodigy kid.
Freddie Adu?
No, he's like brand new. It was supposed to
Andrew
be
Carlton?
I don't think so. It was supposed to be his first World Cup. And he bailed out
Pulisic?
Pulisic.
Pulisic?
Pulisic?
Pulisic. That's his name.
Is
Pulisic.
that how you say it?
Yeah, I mean he's on the national team.
Yeah.
He went to he played in Germany, and now he plays at Chelsea.
Yeah, see, like he bailed out. I remember.
Yeah. Well, but like what I was gonna say is like, you're not 20. You're 22 by the time you get drafted into the MLS.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too late.
You're too late. It's too late. Sorry.
Those guys have already been playing for 4 years.
Sorry.
It's too late.
You're too old to be getting into this.
Well, that's
now.
why he didn't do the traditional American system.
You can't.
He played some DA and then
can't.
bailed out and went over to Europe.
Yep.
And look at him now.
Dude, Chris Richards is on the same path. He's playing at Bayern Munich now with literally the best team in the entire world.
That's the way it should be.
And like in 5 years, this kid is going to be
Our system is
world class.
horrible in America. Horrible. And we laugh at like, oh, well, it works for football. Where else does anybody play football?
Yeah.
No one
It's such a small market. Sure, it's going to work.
Oh, you mean it works for the only place that it's ever been and ever exists? It
Right.
will only ever exist, most
Right.
likely? Cool.
Right.
I mean, you don't even know if it really works, actually, because...
Well,
it's
dude,
like
it doesn't
Europe.
work. It didn't work in Canada, the
Yeah.
Canadian Football League. There's a football league in Europe that is trash. It's like the MLS. It's like MLS,
Yes.
but just football in Europe. It's
Yes.
like the exact opposite.
Congratulations. You know, like that. The World Series, congratulations on winning your World Series.
Right.
You just made this shit up.
Right.
You know, like the World Cup is
Dude,
totally different.
Think about it. America is so good at making monopolies.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, baseball, Major League Baseball is a monopoly, right?
The NFL
Because
is a monopoly.
they poach players from all around the world to go and play on their teams, and now there's no room to have good leagues for these sports in other countries,
It's the most crony
right?
capitalistic.
Which so glad that soccer was popular before America was even a country.
Yeah, period.
You know?
End of story. Man, like, soccer's so much older than America, thank
Right.
God.
Thank God.
Thank God, you know. I'm telling you, it's more of a language than it is a sport at some
Yeah.
point globally.
Yeah.
If you can
To
play
a certain
soccer,
degree.
you can talk to anybody in any
Yeah.
country just by getting a ball and playing with them.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's crazy, man. How long have we been on here?
I started it probably like halfway through, and I'm at 23.
Oh, so we've been on for like 40 minutes.
Probably.
Wow.
Probably something like that.
So we should probably kind of
Yeah, sounds good to me.
In, yeah. Okay.
Closing thoughts.
Um,
So like, let's see. We went through
like where we started. And where we ended.
pooping
Yeah,
and
that's where we
bidets. Okay. And then we got into kids and how gross they are.
Yeah. I think we
Poops
talked about
and
some
kids.
parenting and kids.
Parenting kids,
that
yeah.
branched us over to soccer.
And then the branches over to soccer. And then we talked about
We're mind mapping this thing.
we talked about some inspirational stuff there in the
Yeah.
middle there, I'd
This is
say.
true.
Talking about like work ethic and
Yep, that's true.
and like how we don't fit the system.
Being social.
Yeah, being social. And then we talked about
Honestly,
futsal, soccer.
I think I have a topic that I would like to chat about next week.
Okay.
Just to kind of get it all. I have a lot pent up, and I just like to chat
Ooh.
it out.
I love it when something that's pent up finally just lets itself loose. Dude, I was on the phone with Ronnie the other day, and like I finally just got to like
Your girlfriend.
yeah. Oh yeah,
So we are going down that road.
Oh, is this the road you were going to take?
No, I guess not. No.
Well, basically like I was just like
This seems a very sexual road we're taking.
no, by no
That's
means.
the
No,
road
no,
I
no,
was
no,
talking
no.
about with
Oh.
you. You're taking.
Anyways, we don't have to get into that.
You said pent up energy.
No, not
And
like
then you're
that.
like, I
Picked
was
up
on
like
the phone
aggression.
with-
Like I was
It gets
mad.
released.
Okay.
And then I'm on the
Oh
phone with
my-
Remy, my girlfriend. I was like, are we really doing this right
No,
now?
dude. Okay, I was
Now
just
do you
like
see where
mad
I'm
about
going
where.
with
Yeah,
that?
I see. But okay.
All right. Just making sure we're on the same page here. 'Cause
I was
like,
mad
I think
about
he's
work.
doing this.
I was mad about work, and like just some stuff that had been going on during the week, and like I finally just like got mad about it while I was sharing the story, and like by the end of it, I'm like, wow, that felt good.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
screaming in my house, and like they were listening to me, and like
I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad.
no, I'm just mad, and I'm glad that you're taking this right,
Yeah.
and so that I can just truly be an expression of what my feelings are at the moment, and just and I let it out.
You should truly be able
Felt
to do that.
so good. Yeah.
With your significant
Yeah.
other for sure.
But I think that's one of the signs when you know it's right.
Yeah.
Is
Mallory
when
and
you,
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Just like, I got to get this frustration out about this stupid thing in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just rant for a sec.
For sure.
And it's like, what's so cool is when you don't even have to say like, hey, I'm about to rant. It's just like you just start going off, and they're willing to like hear you out.
I
and
know
like,
when she's mad at me
right.
and when she's just mad.
Right.
There's a big difference.
Right. Sometimes you have to like clarify,
Yeah.
which is okay. You know,
I'll
like so let me
sometimes
just
I-
make sure. Like,
Look,
did
baby,
I
I love
have
you.
anything to do with?
But are you mad at me?
Right.
Did I do something? You know, like, no, I'm just mad. Okay, we're all good then. Continue on.
Right.
Continue throwing
Right.
things.
Right.
We're all
Right,
good.
right.
No, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Because, like, I don't know, like, some of the things that I'm pent up about on this topic just has to do with, like, our society right now.
Mm.
And I don't really talk to a bunch of people about any of this crap.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like this would be a perfect place, and you're the perfect person to then have that conversation of, like, and I don't want to get too, like, politically, because I try to stay center as much as I can in my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because economically I go one way, and then, like, socially I go
Sure.
another way and stuff
Sure.
like that. But
Sure.
long story short, when it comes to, like, where we are, I think we're in some really weird, crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know because it hasn't truly played out yet, so I can't know yet. But I guess I would just like to have a conversation and just let out some thoughts about, man, what we're dealing with right now, and like the craziness of it all, and both sides, like just absolute hysterical parts of this whole thing,
And like not realizing that it's not this versus this, it's this against whatever that is.
But like,
you know,
I blame media.
oh, I mean,
Because I feel like, and this is where I want to get into a lot of this next week, but I feel like they're the ones that pitted both sides against each other
100%.
and created this tension between the two.
100%.
And the politicians only play to what the public feel is. So if the mass media is making the public feel one way, then they'll just play to that way. You know, so like they just pander to whatever you're gonna vote for. That's all they do. You know, that's the end of that one. So like mass media has an agenda of some kind. I don't even get it, man. It's so strange, and I hate the way I've started to lose faith myself now because of the way that people online are talking is changing.
People now have
It's
to
changing.
they have to be puppets to their own ideologies that they
It's tribalism.
have to accept.
It's tribalism.
Let's say you support this or this person, and this person supports it. Now you just have to support that. You have no choice. And then
Even if you don't agree with
Even
it,
if you don't agree.
you're like, man, I don't agree with this one thing, but you know
I
what?
guess
That's my
I have
guy,
to.
so I have
That's-
to.
yep.
Like, what? No, you don't.
no, you don't.
Like,
You
what?
are a individual. You can choose whatever you like.
I just don't.
Why?
Do you have to like everything about someone?
No.
Like,
Like,
why?
that's not a thing in like human life. Like, I'm sure there's something about you I don't like,
I'm sure there is. You just haven't seen it yet.
and I'm sure there's something you don't like about me. But like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I hate when Mallory gets mad at me. You know? Don't like
Uh-huh.
that about her. I wish she would just never get mad at me. You know? That'd be great. Even when I do dumb shit and deserve for her to get mad at me, I don't want her to get mad at me. You know? Like, that would be great. No, but for real, like, I totally agree with you. And, like, I don't know. That's the part that just worries me. I just feel like that it truly has turned to this tribalism now. And, like, I don't even want to call myself anything anymore.
no.
I say I float libertarian, but like
I don't want to
I don't
label
want to
myself.
associate with anything because some of these people that are libertarian, I'm like, you're
There's
crazy.
no. Why do we
You're
have to?
crazy.
In this day and age, we're so much more knowledgeable than that. Why do we
I'm
have to
just trying
label?
to put.
Why do we have to label anything?
You're so
dude?
right.
And that's
You're
one
so
of the
right.
that's one of the things that I'm like, I'm totally okay with you wanting to be called whatever you
Yeah.
prefer being called because
Yeah.
look, there's no point in our society today to label ourselves as anything they want us to label ourselves as. Whoever they may be. Whatever you want, do it, man.
I agree.
Like, if we really want to consider ourselves as a nation, a free country, we have to be willing to accept that. That like we
don't
can
want
do
to.
whatever we need to do for us.
This is the libertarian. This is why I say I float libertarian.
Right.
It's because it's supposed to be modeled off of this idea that like you have the freedom to fail or succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just part of the game. People fail, and like we're trying to babyfy the world into not allowing failure. And I think
we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn nothing.
It's gonna cause more problems.
Like whenever I hear the word failure now, I just replace it in my mind with lesson or learn.
Yes, I think we talked about this last.
We did.
Failure is so great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid of this.
Yep.
And I think that's a huge part of our issue in our society. There's so many. I look over the whole thing. I'm like, man, it's getting more vast, and like people are just hunkering down harder and harder now. Like, what? Why? Just let it go. Why do you have to? Okay, if you don't like Trump people, that's fine. But just kind of let this stuff go now. He's not president anymore. We have a new president. His name is Biden. Let's all just accept the fact that reality is reality, and just kind of let this thing kind of. Okay, I get it. You don't, but like, are you really gonna hate your neighbor for it? Like, come on, man. It's just like that. That's the same to me as hating someone just for being Jewish, and I'm not a Jew. There's not a whole. I get that. Like, well, they vote for this and control my but. You're doing the same to them. There's two sides of the spectrum. They clearly have a viewpoint too, and they're not just a bunch of idiots. Either side. Democrats are not idiots, and Republicans are not just idiots out there. 80 or 70.
That's like saying every person of this faith is this.
Exactly. It's so single-minded.
And I think this pandemic has
It's
opened up the door to now everyone. Like, dude, I can't go on social media anymore.
Nah,
in the
can't
last
do it.
week alone, because everybody's gonna have, like, it was the funniest thing, right? Today was inauguration day, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I open up Instagram and click on the stories, and it's like you're either posting a picture of Donald Trump and it says "Thank you for your service," or it's a picture of Kamala and Joe, and it's like, why does everybody feel the need to
be political? It's their political outlet.
Post out what their political beliefs are. Why should we care? Why should we care? Why should I feel the need to tell people that when, like, first thing, I guarantee you 85% of the people who follow you don't know you. They have no idea who you are. They've never had a conversation with you. It's just so, like, a lot of it is just so unnecessary, but, like, it becomes normal to where, like, now it's like, oh, they posted that. I agree with that. Think posted. Now you are a spokesperson for this post,
Yeah.
I approve. This is like, I approve this message,
You're an enabler of the message.
And we just like,
yeah, it's
what?
Really, it's toxic, man.
It is.
It's
it
really
is.
toxic, and like, I don't know because I don't think anything should legally be done to any of these companies.
No.
People should be able to use Facebook freely.
Sure.
Trump should be able to be kicked off of Twitter if Twitter wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't argue with any of this stuff. I just worry about what it's doing to
people, individuals.
When the biggest part is like when you allow a group of people to want something and then give it to them, and then it's like giving a mouse a cookie. And I think this is where I want to drive the conversation next time is cancel culture. I think cancel culture is probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. We touched on this briefly last week.
It's truly, I see people online commenting things like, like it's about time his cancel came. His cancel? The mean? What? It's just handing out cancels to people? Like, what does that mean exactly? Who cares about like the pillow guy? Like the My Pillow dude. Everybody wants to cancel the My Pillow dude because of it's such a
like because of his past. Because I know like his past.
I think he then something where I saw, and it could be total fake news. This could be total fake news, but I think I saw.
You know what? Just want to take a moment. I'm so glad I don't have to hear that anymore.
Oh, amen.
Just the voice. Like
we've talked about this.
Politics aside, I just don't want to hear that voice ever again.
Trump, shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. For 5
Anyways,
minutes.
like because whatever.
Totally agree.
Anyways.
But I think I saw somewhere where he had some document that got leaked about he was trying to convince Trump that all of this was stolen in the election and that he should try to overturn everything and like take over by military. I need to go double check. Anyways, they want to cancel him. They just want to cancel him. They want everything canceled. They want him canceled, period. I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares about the My Pillow guy?
Yeah.
Who cares about that dude? Did he accomplish his goal? No, because Biden's our president. So what the fuck does it matter? Who cares? Who cares? He's the most meaningless person. Why are we going around canceling everybody when these people are meaningless? He didn't do anything that you said he was going to do. It's all meaningless. It doesn't make sense to me why we want to go out and attack people who cares what they do?
It just makes things. It makes things even harder to believe.
Yes.
Because now I go online and I can't believe
anything. No, you can't. No, like I think it was bad 10 years ago or 15 years ago and 20 years ago on the internet. Like people are like, don't believe which. It's getting progressively worse.
But people are getting progressively more gullible.
Yes.
How?
Well,
why?
here's the
Wake
problem.
up, dude.
You read an article and it's like I now know everything about this subject. Just one article, and that's it. And
I know so many people like this that will start arguments because they read a single article.
Just one article. That's all.
Just one article.
That's all it takes. It's just one article.
What was the source? Something .com. .com is your source.
It doesn't.
Just stuff like that.
The worst ones are the headline readers.
Oh.
All they do is read headlines and then go around being
They're
like,
made
blah, blah,
for
blah,
that,
blah, blah,
people.
Oh my
They're
God.
literally made for you to do what you just did.
They
That
just
headline
did.
was made for you to say that right now.
Like, if you like a headline, at least click on it and go read it. Don't be like, man, I really like that headline. That's a crazy story. I'm going to
The
tell everybody about
iPhone,
this
like
now.
you'll get like a notification and it says news. Like, wait, hold on, let's see. Today at 2:17 says, or Saturday. It says, why are these wellness influencers spreading a dangerous conspiracy? ? Plus, how TikTok solved the murder and more weekend reads. That's your news, folks. That's what you're getting on your phone.
TikTok solved the murder.
TikTok solved the murder, and wellness influencers are spreading a dangerous conspiracy. This is what our world has come to.
I don't understand any of this. Like...
What?
And here's the problem that I'm really running into now.
And but I guarantee you so many people have had conversations with, hey, did you hear about that? TikTok solved the murder?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
What?
For sure. Well, it's like BuzzFeed. Just all they do is try to find out buzz terms and just buzz you up. They do a great job with it. They are the most like.
That's why they get paid the big bucks, man.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's kill this.
Yeah,
because I know we've been going on for a long time, and let's pick this up one next week because I really have a lot more to say about this. I can't wait. I could go on for a freaking hour.
I can't wait
because I'm just so. I don't even know. It's not even like anger. I'm just like confused.
Yeah.
I'm like lost in this. Where are we in life?
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll leave it at that. Well, you give me your last thoughts on everything that we've had this conversation tonight.
Oh man,
give last thoughts while I go walk over there and shut everything down and say whatever you want.
Sounds good. Thank you everybody for joining us. This has been another superb episode of What's in Your World. Give a little peace out to Aang. Peace out to Chaz. Yeah, we'll see you next week. So, I'm just gonna. Is there anything I want to talk about? I really didn't want to believe that Shia LaBeouf got canceled, but like, I guess I have to. Shia LaBeouf got canceled, and I'm like, really.
What do you mean he got canceled?
Like, apparently he abused a woman, so it's like.
No joke. I
it's
love Shia LaBeouf.
FKA Twigs, I think.
Oh man, I gotta look
And
into
it's
this
like,
one now.
it's like, I'm
on.
sure, like, he maybe he did it, and that's like, sure, I'm not gonna support him anymore. But Shia, come on, you
Look.
just made so many good movies, dude. God.
See, and that's like a natural cancel. You know, like you do things that are just not returnable.
Yeah.
You can't come back from. You know.
Come on.
All right.
Thank
Till
you
next
guys for
time.
joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.